Alright, last two problems. I have my calculator ready, and I'm gonna just start graphing these. Notice on my scale, I have 1, it's not labeled, or -1, -1, -2, -3. They're not labeled, but they're still counting by ones, so that's nice. And here we go. The first thing I'm gonna do is make a table of values. So I'm always gonna start with -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. And it's just an easy way to do these problems. This means, well, we have like over 1, so we'll eventually have to times this by 1 and then divide it by 3 times 1, which is just divide by 3. So we'll get started. Plug in the -3. What does that look like? That's 1/3. I'm going to have to zoom in. That's the 1/3 out in front, times 6, and then in the exponent we have -3. And remember, on your calculator, you'll push these buttons. I would put in the 6 and then the x to the y button, 6 x to the y, and then I'll type in 3 and make it negative with the plus minus button, and then hit equals, and I'll get 1/3 times, this is a big decimal, 0, 0, 4, 6, 2, 9, 6, and then that, well, that's way too much. So it's 1/3 times that. So really, I'm just going to take this and I'm going to divide it by 3. That's all I have to do. Multiplying by 1/3 is the same thing as dividing by 3. And the result is 0.0015. That's just really, 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 really tiny. We're not even going to be able to graph that very well, but that's okay. We'll plug in the 2 and we get 1/3 times 6 to the -2. Sorry, the -2. We plug in the -2. 6 to the -2. I'll push the 6 button. I'll push the x to the y. 2 and then the plus minus for the negative, and equals, and that's 0.027777 repeating, and then I'll divide that by 3. Divide by 3. Remember, multiplying by 1/3 is the same as dividing by 3. This one's also a very small number, 0.0092. It's a little bit bigger, but not that much. We'll see what happens later on. We can leave it at that. Alright, put in the -1, and we get 1/3 times 6 to the -1. So 6xy, 1 negative, equals, and then divide by 3. Divide by 3. That's 0.05555 repeating. That's the repeating symbol. And so on. I'm going to finish the rest of these values. You can try it on your own. See if you get the same thing. So obviously this last point I'm not going to be able to plot because it goes all the way up to 72 and our graph doesn't go that high. But I'm going to try and plot these the best that I can. At -3, like x equals -3, the y value, remember f of x is just the same thing as y. The y value is so tiny, I'm just going to put it on the x-axis. It's close enough. So -3, I mean, it doesn't really touch the x-axis, but maybe there, just a tiny bit above. And then -2 is the same way. It's just so tiny, I'm just going to put it like right above the x-axis. And then -1 is 0.05. I mean, I'll go up a tiny bit. And then at 0, 0.03, right? Yeah. That's even too much, but I can't do any better. At 1, the y value is 2. So at 1, the y value is 2. Now it goes up. At 2, the value is 12. Ooh. 12. And then, yeah, I can't graph the rest. So then you connect them. And it looks like that. There you go. The y-intercept is when x equals 0. So 0.3. I think I said 0.03. Oh, it's the last time. 0.3. That's really it. That's all you got to do. I'm just going to go ahead and pause it and do number 16, and you can see if you got the same thing. following all the same steps. I'm still dividing by 3 because it's a 1/3. If this was just a regular 3, I'd multiply. So yeah, I'll do this one, and you can check and see if you got it right. I'm going to pause it and do it right now. They pretty much look the same. I'll just be checking your values, so make sure you understand how to put that into the calculator and then plot them. So there you go. That's the whole test review. You should watch this over if you didn't understand it the first time. Maybe try it on your own before, or like after you watch it, try it on your own again and see if you can remember. Good luck. That's it.